Good morning, interwebs. It is about 5:10ish in the evening, and I have been up since, I think I got up at 11 today. So, you know, go me with the getting up earlier than I have been, right? I spent most of my day here in my office. I cleaned things up. I took everything basically off the shelves, reorganized things, consolidated my scrappy yarns. Most of them I squished things. Now this big jar is like full, and I think it looks so cool with scraps of things. And then this is more recent scraps. There's another couple jars I want to put up there. And then those are the things for my scrap stash blanket and my cute little flamingo that I don't really know what to do with other than set it up there to look cute. And there's my doily. So I have my projects that are currently in progress. This has We Hook Wednesday stuff in it. That is the 3-pocket bag that I made I guess it's probably a little over a month ago now, but I talked about that in a vlog. This is the box for my scrap stash blanket. These are for the Stitch by Stitch We Hook Wednesdays. We have my yarn tail shawl, currently my sweater, my Clarice. These are some coasters and things that need ends woven in and stuff, and then they will be for sale. There's bag making things. This is the next kind of shawl from stash things that I want to work through. The rest of that Bernat bamboo that I'm still trying to get through. And then we have some additional projects. We have the utensil holder I need to finish. These are some straps for my dress I'm working on. Doll parts, an owl that needs a face. I need to put a button on that. There's Peachlet just hanging out with her bee and her button. And then I just kind of straightened up a little over there. So this room is much better than it had been. I'm going to move these out of the way here shortly. But I never finished cleaning up. Like when I left for California, I kind of just threw everything on the shelves because I needed it up and away from the cats. But when I got home, I didn't really, you know, clean things up. Oh, I inventoried and organized Etsy stuff. So look at how pretty all the bags are. They're so nice. So anyways, I feel kind of like I clean slated everything. So now I can get in here and do some work and be creative again without feeling overwhelmed coming into this room. I do, however, need to vacuum this floor again. This carpet, like, just, I don't know. I think it's just because it's so old, but it just feels icky so quickly. So I need to vacuum it again. And then I think I need to get on making dinner here kind of soon-ish. I've been listening to podcasts all day. I listened to a bunch of Pop Culture Happy Hour, got myself all caught up on that, which I haven't been listening to it much lately because they went to a different format for the summer. For those of you that don't know, Pop Culture Happy Hour is a podcast put out by NPR, and it's done by their like pop culture and some of their music people and their comic book people, and they have kind of a rotating cast. They have 3 people that are usually always on, and then it rotates other people, and they talk about different pop culture topics, as in like movies or music or books or that sort of thing, specific topics usually. And then my favorite part is this segment they do called What's Making Me Happy This Week, where everybody talks about something pop culture related that they're really into, like a song or a comic book they've read or something that, some of the things that I've never even thought of. So I enjoy listening to that, but I haven't been listening because they changed their format for the summer to doing 2 episodes instead of doing like a week, instead of doing one long one. Which is not bad in theory, because you can just listen to them back to back, but it actually enumerates in the title what the individual segments are about. And one of the things I most enjoy about Pop Culture Happy Hour was that I could listen to an hour-long episode, just on principle, like, I'm going to listen to their next episode regardless of the topic, because that's just what I do. And so I would listen to things about topics that I didn't necessarily care about, and I usually ended up enjoying. But then they started enumerating what the individual segments were going to be about, and I was usually like, I don't care. But I don't care about Stephen King books, because I don't enjoy that genre, or that genre of movies, or any of the Stephen King stuff. But they had a podcast recently about that topic. I did eventually listen to it today because I was like, you just need to catch up because you enjoy these things, Kendra. So I listened to it, and what do you know? I really enjoyed the episode, even though it's not really like my thing. I enjoyed the parts of it that they most enjoyed about Stephen King were actually things that I could get on board with, like his feelings about being a writer and his writing on that. So Anyways, this is all kind of irrelevant, but what isn't irrelevant when it comes to the vlog, right? This is how my day has gone. And now I'm listening to another new podcast, I'll have to let you know what I think, called True Story, and it's Dave Holmes, who I remember him on MTV. I remember when I don't even know how old, they did like So You Wanna Be a VJ, like a VJ contest, and Dave Holmes clearly had all of like the knowledge and was into it, but he was kind of nerdy and he like wasn't punky or cool. And then there was this guy named Jesse who was all punky and cool, but didn't really know anything about music or the musicians or the industry. And of course, Jesse wins and becomes the new VJ, and Dave Holmes doesn't win. But then Dave Holmes kept working with MTV for decades and decades, and Jesse, I think, just worked his contract and then was done. But anyways, Dave Holmes, who's now just, I don't know, a general entertainment journalist of sort, I guess, he and his friend are doing a podcast where they go through the first season of The Real World, episode by episode, and talk about it. And so I'm really excited because that could be really super fun because I really, really like The Real World. Especially, I don't like the newer Real World seasons when it just became like, let's party and get drunk. But I really liked the, like, first, I don't know, 6 or 8 seasons of The Real World. Especially the first couple where it really was like this is what happens when you have roommates you don't know. I mean, before Craigslist, I think people tended to somehow know the people they lived with more. And so it was, I don't know, I always enjoyed it. Plus, I was younger, like, by a lot than the people on The Real World at that time. So, you know, it was kind of interesting because they were living this life I didn't live. So I didn't necessarily have the right perspective, but even watching the episodes now, I still really, really like it. It probably falls in that kind of guilty pleasure column, but I don't really feel guilty. I just feel like it's one of those things that kind of requires an explanation about what it is that I liked about it. Because yeah, the like, let's just go drink and party places, I just thought that was stupid. I was like, well, why don't you just go do that on your own time instead of having it all filmed for every employer you ever want in the future to see. But I guess if the only employer you ever want to have after that is MTV, then more power to you. Okay, so I'm gonna go put this stuff away in here, and then I will make dinner in a while. I think we're gonna have pasta again. We had pasta last night. It was really good. My house smells amazing because there's pear butter cooking in the crock pot, and so good. So okay. So it is 11:35 and Steve has just left for work, and I have been in here all day cleaning and organizing and putting things away and moving things around and cleaning up this mess, which is so much more organized than it was. So it has the kids, I'm like, so does it look cleaner? They're like, well, it looks better, but like things are so organized. Like, there's my We Hook Wednesday yarns in both the overviews and the stitch by stitch, and there's the rest of the Bernat bamboo I'm trying to use up, and there's my next project, and there's all my cotton yarns that I have a whole drawer over here too. It's full of the little skeins, and then I also have this one. It's got the big cones in it, and this whole bottom drawer that has cones that I bought from like a case sale. And in the back there's a bunch of red Bernat Handicrafter that I also bought in a case sale. So those will have to be, I do work through those cotton yarns a decent amount. And they're nice. I never have to buy red basically. But I keep this here. See, I'll move it so I can see it better. So this green one has all the colors, the solids just kind of out that have already been cracked into, and then these are mostly multis except all this green, which I guess could go over here. So that's just kind of my go-to when I'm going to make something out of cotton and I'm not exactly sure what I'll need. That's a good place to start from. But I have all my, like, works in progress out. I actually, tonight, I'm going to work some on my stash scrap blanket because, what do you know, I've got a whole bunch of stuff in there now from various freaker frogs. So I want to be able to close this container. So I need to put some more into the blanket. These still need ends woven in on. And then this bucket here is something I need to focus on. Tonight I'm going to work on making critters and things, but before I can start anything beyond the yarn that I already have out on my desk for making fish and bugs, I need to work on some things out of here. So like my goal is to do like one thing from there, one thing from here, and go back and forth till all of these things are handled. And yep, but it looks nice. Oh, and with this, I put a jar inside it, and when you pull it up, see how nice that kind of vasey shape it makes? And then it will look nicer, obviously, once I make the flowers that go inside of it, but that'll be a long-term, when I feel like it project. But I think, for the time being, I'm done in this room, and I'm gonna go camp in front of my computer and do computery type things for a while. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Well, it is 5:15. And I am headed to bed, even though I'm really, really not sleepy. But, oop, just knocking things over. Anyways, I have a benefit dinner at the cafe tomorrow. We say dinner, but it's lunch. I think it starts at 11, but it might be at 10. So I'm planning on heading up there about 9:15. Which doesn't leave me a lot of time to sleep, but I'm very, very awake. Quite possibly because that event's happening. Yeah. We'll see how it all goes. I'm sure it'll be fine, but yeah, not looking forward to it. Anyways, this evening, after I talked to you last, I put some stuff that had been cooked in the kitchen. I put it all in the fridge till I have more. Like, we cooked down pear butter today, but there wasn't enough for me to want to can it all. So I just took the pear puree and put it all in the fridge now that it's pureed, basically. And then when we do the rest of the pears, I'll just put everything together and do one canning's worth. Or at least one, like, mixing, and then I'll can it in a couple of cannerfuls. Anyways, I also sewed some bags tonight, which I've kind of been putting off all day, but I really just, my office was not acceptable to me, and now it is, and so I was able to sit down and watch a podcast and sew. So that was good. I got 2 bags done this evening in about an hour, I guess. Hour and a half, because I watched one podcast. I don't know. It didn't take me all that long, and I was relatively focused, so that's always good. I also, before that, had done a bunch of work on my stash wrap blanket, because, like, I showed you how the thingy wouldn't close. Well, now it will. And I feel better about that now that it closes. I finished a strip, so that's good too. Okay, gonna go to bed so I can get a couple of hours of sleep before I have to get up, which probably means that I am in for it tomorrow afternoon. I'm probably going to be tired anyways, given the event, but I will be extra tired, given the lack of sleep. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Nighty-night.